These stories are based on real experiences shared by people online. Story 1. He already knew me. I matched with him on Tinder on a random Tuesday night. His name was Daniel, and his profile looked completely normal. He had a few casual photos, and nothing about him stood out in any way. He looked like someone you would walk past every day and never remember. We started talking, and everything felt very natural from the beginning. The conversation flowed too easily and too smoothly. At first, I thought I just got lucky and matched with someone interesting. After about an hour, I started noticing something strange. He was finishing my sentences before I even finished typing them. He was bringing up things I liked without me ever mentioning them. I tried to ignore it and told myself it was just coincidence. Then he told me that I still go to that cafe near my apartment. I immediately froze when I read that message. I never told him where I lived, and I never mentioned any cafe. I tried to play it cool and ask him what he meant. He told me I mentioned it earlier in the chat. I felt a strange tension in my chest, so I went back and checked every single message. I scrolled slowly and carefully, but there was nothing about any cafe or my location. That is when I started to feel uneasy. I went back to the conversation and started reading everything again from the beginning. The more I read, the worse it felt. He was not asking questions like a normal person. He was stating things as if he already knew them. He knew my favorite drink, and he knew what I do for work. Then he mentioned my dog by name, and that is when my stomach dropped. I never posted my dog anywhere on that profile. I never mentioned him in the chat. I felt like I was being watched. I asked him directly if we had met before. He responded instantly as if he was waiting for that question. He said not officially. That answer made my hand start shaking. I immediately unmatched him and blocked his account. I told myself I was overthinking and tried to move on with my day. For the next 2 days, I kept thinking about it, but nothing happened. I slowly started convincing myself it was just a weird coincidence. On the 3rd day, I came back home from work late in the evening. As I walked up to my door, I noticed something on the ground. There was a coffee cup placed right in front of my door. I stopped and just stared at it for a moment. It looked exactly like the one from the cafe he mentioned. I felt my heart start beating faster as I stepped closer. My name was written on the cup. My real name, not my nickname from Tinder. My hand started shaking as I noticed a small folded piece of paper under the cup. I picked it up slowly and opened it. There was only one sentence written on it. It said, "Now we have met." I immediately went inside and locked the door. That night, I could not sleep at all. Every small sound made me feel like someone was outside. The next morning, I checked my phone and opened Tinder again. His profile was gone, but I had a new match. The profile had no pictures and no name. There was only one message waiting for me. It said, "I told you I would see you again. If you want more true scary stories, leave a like and subscribe." More real stories from real people are coming soon. Story 2. She did not want me to leave. I matched with her late at night when I was just scrolling without really thinking. Her name was Kate, and her profile looked simple but interesting enough to message. We started talking, and she replied very fast and seemed very focused on me. She asked a lot of personal questions early, but I did not think too much about it at the time. After a few hours, she suggested we meet the next day at her place because she said she did not like crowded places. I agreed because everything still felt normal, and I thought it might be a good story to tell later. When I arrived at her building, I noticed it was very quiet and almost empty. I went up, and she opened the door immediately like she was already waiting behind it. The first thing I noticed was how empty her apartment was. There were no pictures, no decorations, and almost nothing that showed someone actually lived there. There was just a couch, a small table, and a mattress on the floor. I told myself maybe she just moved in. She closed the door behind me, and I heard the lock click. That felt normal for a second until I saw her take the key out and put it into her pocket. I tried to ignore it and sat down. We started talking, and she kept staring at me in a very intense way. It felt like she was studying every movement I made. At some point, I checked the time and said I should probably head out soon because I had work early. Her expression changed instantly, and the atmosphere in the room felt heavy. She asked why I would leave when we just started having a good time. I tried to keep things calm and told her I would see her again another day. She stood up and slowly walked toward the door and stood in front of it. She told me that people always leave her, and she does not like that. I felt my heart start beating faster, but I tried not to show it. I asked her politely for the key and told her I really had to go. She did not move at all. She just kept looking at me and smiling in a way that did not feel right. She said that most people do not get a second chance with her. At that moment, I realized I needed to get out as fast as possible. I took my phone out and said I was going to call someone to come pick me up. The second I said that, her whole attitude changed again. She stepped aside without saying anything and let me reach the door. I unlocked it and walked out without looking back. As I was walking down the hallway, I heard her open the door behind me. I froze for a second but kept walking. She did not follow me, but she spoke in a calm voice and said I would come back to her. I left the building and got into my car with my hands shaking. I blocked her everywhere that same night. A few days later, I made a new profile, and within minutes, I got a like from a new account with no photos. The bio had only one sentence that said, "You came back." Story 3, the driver. I matched with him on a night when I could not sleep and was just swiping out of boredom. His name was Alex, and he seemed quiet but polite. We talked for a few days, and nothing felt strange at first. He suggested we meet and offered to pick me up, which I hesitated about, but eventually agreed to. When he arrived, I got into the car and immediately felt something was off. The inside of the car was very clean, but there was a strange silence that felt uncomfortable. As soon as I closed the door, I heard the locks engage automatically. I made a small joke about it, but he did not react at all. We started driving, and I asked where we were going. He said somewhere quiet, which made me feel uneasy. I opened the map on my phone and noticed we were not heading toward any place I recognized. I told him I would prefer somewhere public, but he did not respond. He just kept driving and started going faster. My heart started racing and I felt trapped in that moment. I tried to stay calm and told him I forgot something at home and needed to go back. After a few seconds of silence, he said that I am not going back. That was the moment I knew something was really wrong. I tried the door handle, but it was locked. I told him to stop the car, but he ignored me completely. I started thinking quickly and tried to act like nothing was wrong. I took my phone and pretended I was calling someone. I said clearly that I am on my way and I am sharing my location right now. The reaction was immediate. He slowed down and pulled the car over to the side of the road. He unlocked the doors without looking at me. He told me to get out in a cold voice. I opened the door and ran as fast as I could without looking back. I did not stop until I reached a lit area with people around. Later that night, I checked the app and saw that he unmatched me. It felt like he just erased the whole situation like it never happened. The next day, I opened the app again and saw a new profile with no name and no photos. There was one message waiting for me that said, "You should not have gotten out."